And if he shrinks back, my soul has no pleasure in him. It's a warning. I want you to understand that all of God's assurances have warnings attached to them. When God told him in the garden, eat of every tree, but don't eat of this one. When God assured Joshua on the banks of the Jordan, nobody's going to be able to stand against you, he said, but don't turn to the left or the right. When God comes to a people and makes a miraculous promise, he puts in line the guardrails to keep you on the road. Some people are so determined that they'll break through the guardrails because they know so much better, and they're not willing to have anybody tell them what to do until finally they run out of energy, sometimes usually in the middle or latter part of their life, and they give up, and their new message is, man, I wasted a lot, didn't I? If he shrinks back, my soul has no pleasure. And well, take good courage, friends. There's some pretty famous people that shrunk back a time or two. Abraham, Elijah, David. There are folks on the list that they're just as human as you and me. We've kind of put them up on pedestals, and at some level they should be. At another level, they're people just like you and me. Good news. But do you want to shrink back? Do you want to come this far? I mean, let's face it, some of you were born and raised Adventists. You've given up nothing. Am I being too hard on you? I mean, it's your culture. You grew up in a ghetto. Bering Springs. And it could be Loma Linda or Chattanooga. It could be Orlando. You've never had to shrink back because you've never had to give up anything to come to church with your family. You've gone to church school. Some of you, though, your parents wouldn't even talk to you after you said, I'm going to become a Seventh-day Adventist. I want to tell you, I had a nice visit with one of our older members last Sunday in their home. I'm telling you, the lady told me her grandma wouldn't even talk to her. She got a Voice of Prophecy Bible lesson from an aunt. She was pretty much ostracized by everybody in her family. I want to tell you, she's a strong older woman, even though she's kind of frail today, but her faith is strong in Jesus. Don't lose your confidence. But maybe you've never had to face the situations where let me turn that phone off real fast. Everybody did need to know that it's righteous by faith in the earth's final hour. If this is all you've ever known, maybe you've never been tested. So don't be too glib. For those of you that have lost spouses and family and jobs and friendship circles, you're part of the group that needs to continually remind us these are the things to expect sooner or later. Why does this verse mean so much to me? Verse 39. But I love Paul. He tells us that we're the righteous ones and we live by faith. God has no pleasure in those who shrink back. But then I know the chapters were inserted after he wrote it, but I like where the break is. But we are not of those who shrink back to destruction, but those who have faith to preserve the preserving of the soul.